Look, the frustration is real. You see companies claiming they care about society, about their people, but it's all talk. Hollow promises, empty gestures, all while profits stack up in the pockets of shareholders who don't even know the names of the workers grinding day after day. It's maddening. You want businesses that don't just pay lip service but actually do the right thing because it's baked into who they are. Employee owned firms, they're not just a buzzword, they might be the real deal here. But hold on, don't just think it's some easy fix. Here's the deal: when employees actually own the company, it flips the whole game. Suddenly, the people doing the work don't feel like replaceable parts anymore. They're owners. That means decisions aren't just about short term profits for faceless investors. Instead, the focus can shift to something deeper: the impact on communities, the environment, working conditions, things that really matter but often get ignored. You can't fake that kind of care when everyone has skin in the game. But you have to get this right. It's not enough to just slap employee owned on a company and hope for the best. It has to be built with real power sharing, real transparency, real accountability. If you keep old power structures under the surface and just change the words, you're setting yourself up for failure, and worse, disillusionment. Fight for structures where ownership means making decisions together, where profits get spread fairly, where people aren't afraid to speak up because their livelihood depends on it. That's what changes the culture from inside out. If you're an investor or founder thinking about this, stop listening to the easy lines and cliches. Don't just chase a social label or tick a box. Dig into how ownership is distributed, how decisions flow, how the company treats its people every single day. Push for systems where workers can push back, propose changes, be heard loud and clear. Because the truth is, only when workers have real control do companies stop cutting corners on ethics, on environmental standards, and on fair pay. And here's where it gets interesting. Employee ownership aligns incentives naturally with social responsibility. When everyone benefits from the long-term health of the business and the community around it, you automatically get better outcomes. It forces companies to look beyond next quarter's numbers. Trust me, no one with shared ownership wants their company trashing the neighborhood or burning out the workforce. It just doesn't make sense if your future is tied to theirs. But you've got to push. You have to push hard. Demand clarity about what employee ownership means in practice. Don't settle for vague promises. Demand clear governance structures, regular profit sharing, and democratic decision processes. It's not just a feel-good idea, it's an operational model you can hold people accountable to. And guess what? When done right, these companies tend to survive economic shocks better and create richer, more resilient communities. That's the real social impact you're after. Still, don't expect miracles overnight. Building these systems takes courage, patience, and relentless commitment. You'll face insiders resistant to change, traditional investors wary of losing control, and a system that constantly tries to pull everything back to familiar patterns of power and extraction. But if you're serious about real impact, about actually shifting business to serve people and planet, this is where you start. So, here's the brutal, simple truth. Keep pushing for real employee ownership models. Demand detailed, transparent structures. Make social responsibility non-negotiable and directly tied to ownership and decision-making power. Stop buying into the illusion that CSR reports or goodwill campaigns are enough. They're not. If the ownership isn't shared, none of it matters in the long run. This is how you build companies that don't just pretend to care, but actually live up to it. It's messy, it's hard, and yes, it will piss off a lot of people benefiting from the status quo. But that's what real change looks like. You're not here to keep things comfortable. You're here to shift power, realign incentives, and build something that lasts for everyone, not just a few. Get out there. Demand ownership that means ownership. Push for social responsibility that comes from the bottom up, not the top down. It's the only way this mess turns into progress. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and open the featured link to discover more.